I call to order this meeting of the City of St. Louis Board of Public Service Soldiers Memorial Commission. It is 3:03 p.m. and the date is Thursday, September 21st, 2023. My name is Linnea Magnuson and I chair the commission. And we will proceed according to the agenda. And the first thing is a roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners. And I'm going to switch to share screen right now. See if I can get this share screen.
Linnea,
Yep.
it's Judith.
Hi, Judith.
I'm not showing on the screen. I don't know why.
I can see you. But I'm not sure how to get. Oh, hold on. Now I've got all these different
Just
options.
as long as that's okay with me. As long as I'm on the
Make
call.
sure I see you here.
Judith, this is Freddie. I can see you.
Oh, thank you, Freddie. It's okay if I don't see myself.
Second here. I'm having some trouble getting my screen to come up with these new options.
You're on a phone. You're not going to see
second.
yourself by default.
Hold on. I'm sorry about this. Something strange happened here. Host. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is not going to be good. Okay, I think I got it now, maybe. Does this work? Hooray. Can you see that okay, or should I turn the screen the other way?
There it goes. Now I
Anybody?
can see it.
Perfect.
Is that all right? Okay, well then let's start by, I told you that there was all these different commands going on here, so I warned everybody. Let's start by doing a roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners. First is Kareem Barjay, who I know is not here. Freddie Dunlap.
Here.
Jason Fletcher.
Here.
Judith Hansis. Yep, she's here, I know. Bruce Yampolsky. No, and myself, yes. I think we have a quorum. Actually, we do have a quorum. So I'm going to put the agenda on and I'll switch to the second page in just a minute here. But this is the first page of the agenda for May 18th, 2023. So moving on with the agenda, sorry, not the agenda, the meeting minutes. So moving on with the agenda, the next thing on the agenda is the, sorry, I did it again here. Boy, I don't know what I'm doing today. Is the Pledge of Allegiance. Can you guys see the agenda now? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
sorry about that. For some reason, I'm not seeing everything the way I normally do. So let's see. Jason, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
Thanks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States of
States
America
States of
and
America.
to the republic
To the republic
for which it
for
stands,
which it stands,
one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Now we can proceed with the agenda. So the next thing on the agenda is the approval of the May 18th, 2023 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting minutes. So let's go over here and I've got the first page here and I can put the second page up in a minute or so if you read through this one. Let me switch to the next page. Is it okay if I switch?
Sure.
Next second page. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 18th, 2023?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
You're on mute, Judith.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the May 18th, 2023 meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Abstain.
opposed? Any abstentions? The meeting minutes
Freddie
for.
abstained, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, Freddie abstains. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. The meeting minutes for the May 18th, 2023 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting have been approved. And we can move on to the next thing on our agenda here, which is report on Soldiers Memorial operations, exhibits, programs, and events. So handing it over to Mark. And I can stop sharing my screen here so you can put something up. Okay.
All right. Just gonna give you a quick rundown. Operations. Talking to Molly, the use of the building for active duty military retirements, promotions, change of commands, so forth is steady and probably increasing. She estimates we have anywhere from 3 to 4 of those a month. So they're quite common. This coming next week, September 29th, the Navy Talent Acquisition Group. Just to give you a couple of examples, the Navy Talent Acquisition Group will be here for a pinning ceremony. And then the USS Stoddard will be here for a reunion and meeting on the September 30th, so the day after. So those are really quite steady for us. I think we just did a unit stand-up, which I had never been a part of or seen anything of, but the Coast Guard just stood up a new unit and came here to Soldiers Memorial to do that. A lot of these units are the ones that work out of the federal building here downtown. So Soldiers is close and a beautiful place to do those types of things. And then just a little update on Jose. We hired him to create some videos to create us a stronger online presence. His work is going pretty well, kind of working out some processes and whatnot, but we recently interviewed the director of the VA. So we'll be sharing that and kind of, that part of our mission that services veterans. Wanted to make sure that our audience has information about how to get access to the VA. We refined a video of the grant symposium, which we do every summer with the Humanities Council. He'll be doing video this weekend of the stand down and stand up event. So his work is progressing, and it should be getting us. Hopefully, we'll build a stronger online presence that then, translates into some actual visitors. As far as exhibits, Vietnam at War and at Home will be up through May of 2024. It's hard to believe, but we're coming up on a year now that exhibit's been open. So it'll be open for another 6 months to up to Memorial Day of 2024. We have put in application for a traveling Vietnam wall. We have not heard anything. It's getting a little late, so we should hear, I expect, any time now. But they acknowledged receipt of the application, but beyond that, we haven't heard anything. So no real updates on that. As far as programs and events, just some of the stuff I'll give you. Some of the big things that have happened this summer. June, of course, was Pride Fest. We added some new elements. We, of course, did the wreath laying again on the front steps with a small speech and a ceremony. And then this year we added film screenings in the Assembly Hall. So we showed a film that focused on the LGBTQ experience during World War II. Course, when none of those folks could express their true identity. There's a good film out on that. So we showed that in the Assembly Hall both Saturday and Sunday. And then we added what we call the chill room. So Pride is like notoriously baking hot. It's just insanely hot that weekend for whatever reason. It always seems like it's in the mid-90s or so we added a room upstairs where veterans and active military and members of the Missouri Historical Society could just come and chill out and get some air conditioning, get some cold drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, and some snacks. and we had some music going. So just kind of a place to get away from all of the hubbub of the festivity if they wanted to do that. So that worked pretty well. The film worked pretty well, and we'll keep doing that into future years. Pride Fest, as you know, completely envelops us. It's in all of the parks that surround us, and of course, Market is shut down. So it's truly like a situation where we need to make the best of what's happening. There's no getting around it. And so it's a great avenue for us to, reach more audience, more people who, every year come into the building and say, I didn't know this was here, or, this is new. And so it's a good opportunity for us. And then in July, we did the US Grant Symposium. So that's the, I think the 5th or the 6th year that it's been here, minus, of course, the COVID years. But I think this year was probably one of the best yet. It was very well attended. Those US grant enthusiasts stay for the entire day. They get here starting around 10 and they stay through, I think, 3 o'clock. We have a series of 4 different speakers. And that's a partnership with the Humanities Council. And so that's a good program for us. And then August, this year we launched a couple of movie showings in the Assembly Hall, just trying something new, something different. We showed Forrest Gump one Sunday afternoon, and then another Sunday afternoon we showed Rescue Dawn, which is a POW based movie. Both of those have elements. Well, Rescue Dawn is that's set in the Vietnam War, and certainly Forrest Gump has strange elements of the Vietnam War, I guess, but both somehow were tied to the exhibit, and hope to get family and others into the movies. It worked okay, but we need to try to get some more traction.
Mark?
Yep.
It's Judith. Just a question. When I read the publicity for those movies, it's on the Missouri Historical Society website. It said outside. And I wasn't about to do that on a blistering day, so I didn't come.
Yeah, I don't know if that didn't get updated, Judith, or what, but that was the original plan, which was my original probably bad idea. And then we changed it, but we had the original thought of we were going to do those movies at like dusk, and as the sun was setting outdoors, which I think would be pretty cool, but we kind of reassessed our audience and thought that they're not going to come to this part of downtown at that time, at dark and hang outside. So we moved them indoors, but sorry for the confusion. That's certainly on me if we didn't get that website updated, but they were pretty fun. We had about 8 to 10 people that came out to each one, and there were people that I didn't know, which is always good. We tend to see a lot of people that we know, which is nice, but anytime we can get new people in, that's good too. So I
look forward to that happening again.
Yeah, we'll do that again for sure. It's just kind of a nice thing for us to do in August. There's so much happening in September and in November, of course, that and then by the time we get through Pride Fest and the Grant Symposium, August just seemed like a good opportunity to do something that was, a little easier to pull off and hopefully attractive to some folks who want to come downtown and hang out. And again, trying to reach a, kind of a family audience and give families that opportunity to visit the museum. So yeah, we'll definitely do that again. So sorry I didn't get that updated, but we'll get it straight next year.
Great.
September is actually 2 days from now is Stand Down, coupled with Stand Up for Women Veterans. This will be kind of a complete takeover of the facility, all of the spaces on the 2nd floor, Chestnut Street, areas of the Court of Honor, all of those places. There'll be different services for veterans. The target audience here is certainly veterans who are in tough situations, whether it's financial or, facing homelessness or whatever. So we don't, Molly and I do a lot of the site coordination, but it's really the partners that make this happen. The Post 404 really leads the way on the Stand Up for Women veterans, and then St. Patrick's Center is involved. The VA, of course, American Legion is involved, but Salvation Army as well. So all these organizations that you think of who provide resources are here. There'll be approximately 40 service providers here on site. There'll be vans on Chestnut that include a mammogram van, a dental van, and a DoD surplus supplies from the VA. So it really is a big event. Last year, I think we serviced about 150 veterans, and there's that same kind of number, about 40 service providers who are on site helping folks out. So that's a good one. And then also just yesterday we started running shuttles from the St. Louis County Library, different branches, and we're doing this once a month in September, October, November, and then a little bit of a winter break, and then picking back up with March, April, and May. But these are 25 passenger shuttles that are scheduled to leave a county library branch and come down here to Soldiers Memorial. So we did this yesterday. I drove out to Grants View branch, which is kind of South County, down in real close to where Grants Farm is, and got on the shuttle and drove with the folks down here, and talked their ear off on the way down, told them all about the Soldiers Memorial and all the way back to 1938 and how it was developed and all that information. And then once they got here, we turned them over to a volunteer who gave them a tour of the Vietnam exhibit. So pretty cool way to get people downtown, which is always a goal. And I liked the reaction of one woman yesterday on the bus. Was like, she looked around when we got there on the shuttle and she said, well, there's all kinds of parking here. And I said, well, I know there is. I said, but it's a big kind of conception or misconception that it's like this impossible area to get to, but it's not really that difficult at all. So it's kind of nice to open some eyes and get people downtown to see some good stuff that's happening. So
Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Kudos to whoever thought that idea up and put it into action. That's just a great way for people to get acquainted who would not otherwise never come downtown.
Yeah, the county library is so good at that stuff. Libraries are just great resources, and so the partnership, I kind of worked with them, and we cooked that up, and but that partnership with them, and of course it was promoted not only through our stuff, but through all of their channels as well. So even the promotion helps get the name out there of Soldiers Memorial, even if people didn't come necessarily. At least it's reaching more audience. So that was nice. I couldn't tell you, I can't remember what branch we go from next time, but we do two more. And they're one's kind of South County, one's kind of Central, and one's kind of North County. So we kind of spaced them out to make sure we were reaching different audiences. So those happen September, October, November. And then November, of course, is Veterans Day parade and observance. We're working hard, but every year on this, I feel like we're a step behind where we should be. And but things are coming together. We have added a few elements this year. There'll be a kind of a small car show that happens on 13th and Pine. These are vehicles that are in the parade we're going to peel them out of the parade and make them park for a while, and or request nicely that they park for a while and let people walk up and actually check out the cars. I think Molly's working with 3 of the groups. We're trying to not overwhelm ourselves and just kind of see how this goes. But I know the Model A I think maybe the Model T and maybe one other they're working with that'll stop and give a moment for people to check out the cars. And we have the Counter Explosive Hazard Center is coming up from Fort Leonard Wood. So this is a team, a unit that works with, I'm just going to say bombs. I'm sure they probably use better terminology, but explosives, I guess. And they bring dogs and robots who kind of show people how they work together to locate and take care of bombs or explosives. And then that's another addition this year. And then we're also have added the Missouri National Guard Hall of Fame, which is kind of a new entity. Will do their 2023 induction as part of the ceremony. And they graciously provided $500 towards the free lunch that we provided to parade participants. And so we'll be doing that again there on the corner of 13th and Chestnut. And last year, and I think this year again, American Legion Post 422 is going to do up the cooking and dishing out of the hot dogs and chips and sodas. So, then we're adding the fourth thing we're adding is a shuttle that runs from the Missouri History Museum down to Soldiers Memorial. This is kind of targeting the Board of Trustees for the Missouri Historical Society and others. Certainly, you all are welcome to jump on that shuttle if that's easier or better for you from the museum than just coming straight to Soldiers. But following that, then will be a reception on the second floor, which is kind of a continental breakfast selection. So we'll be getting information out to all of you for that as well. I would say overall, there seems to be more buzz this year. I'm not really quite sure why, but there, just people asking questions and talking about it seems to be an uptick, which is good. And met with Judith and Christopher Schwartz, who's the new district commander of the Legion. And we also met with Greater STL to kind of discuss a new vision for Veterans Day or Veterans Week, really. And looking at this idea of this Veterans Homecoming effort that would be kind of a cross-promotional branding opportunity. So it's not really looking at creating more programs or more events, but bringing them all together and giving, like last year they did a concert down at the Arch on Veterans Day. I didn't know about that, but it happened. And so trying to bring all these things together and say, hey, there actually is a lot happening and bring greater awareness to everybody's efforts that week if they're doing something for veterans. And then pushing that out also to like the Blues and potentially the soccer team to ensure that they're making some kind of mention or doing something for veterans during that week. Most of them do already, like they recognize a veteran of the game or something like that, but making maybe a little bit of a more intensified effort for that. And then the last thing this year, and this is really kind of pending, but we are talking about back in 1944, when Wendell Pruitt came home, the city held a big Wendell Pruitt Day. It was December 14th of 1944, and he was a Tuskegee Airman and an ace, and he was from here in St. Louis. So he came back and he met with the mayor, and there was a parade and planned and the whole bit. And so we're looking to develop some kind of celebration like that each December, kind of trying to hit that sweet spot between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where it's trying to find that spot in the calendar where we could pull something off, and then maybe extend that out to all African-American veterans as a kind of a celebration and an event here at Soldiers indoors. So that's in the works, and kind of talking about getting that spun up. So that's a lot. I'm sorry. Real quick, one last thing just on collections. Just talked to Kate, and she's on this call, so she can correct me, but So far, they've rehoused, which means putting into, archival boxes and making sure everything is padded out correctly so it's stable on the shelves and everything. Kate, I think you said 15,552 objects.
That's correct.
That's right. So that's a lot of stuff. I was thinking about my own apartment and I thought, well, I don't have nearly that much and I hate moving. So I don't know how you rehouse 15,000, over 15,000 things, but congratulations. I think that, I think we're all very grateful, certainly the veterans of the community, type of thing that, most of them will never know. But it's good to know that all that stuff is being cared for so well, and that it's getting into some good archival boxes and stuff with that material. Much more complex than just putting it into a box. I know that you have to cut different molds and all kinds of things that you do. But that process, that rehousing is nearly complete. They have some textiles, some of the pins, the metals, and then some of the oversized frames that still need some rehousing. I think another thing in terms of collection that's really cool that's happened recently, there's been a number of visits from families who are related to artifacts in the collection. Terry Hobson has been by a couple of times really in the last couple months to visit items that are in the collection that were her son's. I think most notably the prayer rug that he had brought back, it came back. And then the McGrath family is a family that's associated with a large painting of a man named Fournier, who was in the service during World War I. And that family was able to visit the collections at 1520 and see the painting. And they have interest in supporting the conservation of that painting and in underwriting that. So we'll see where that goes, but it's just so cool to create those opportunities for these people to, reconnect, very meaningful artifacts to them and to their families and whatnot. And then another family that was in recently was a Walter Worth family. And this is another World War I connection of folks who Walter Worth was donated artifacts. I think these were all the way back then, right, Kate? 38?
Yes.
Right at the opening. So members of his family were in to see some of his things, which many of them are actually on display. So just some cool things. Some of the personal connection part of collections work. Collections work tends to be, Kate is very methodical and very planned and programmed, but sometimes it gets pretty emotional. And when you can get these families, and certainly that's those moments. So that, Kate, did you want to add anything there?
No, I think you covered it. Things are going well.
Okay, excellent. Still have Ella on board, and Kate and Ella are a fine-tuned machine over there in the collection space, doing great things. So I'm happy to take any questions, but I'll release the floor now, I guess. Pipe down, as my mother would say.
Does anyone have any questions for Mark?
Mark, do you know, it's Judith, if I'm sorry, I'm in a fog. I just got back from 2 weeks in Europe last night, and my brain's not, well, it's a lot of times it's not in gear, but it's really not in gear today. I'm thinking about the massing of the colors. Did Molly get anything from, I'm trying to think of his name, Master Sergeant.
We haven't heard anything, and I know that I spent some time this week going through all of our contacts and doing research on the JROTC programs, and there's been quite a bit of change. I think from what I found, Colonel Kafka's left.
Yes.
And Sergeant Payne has also left. And so
Yes.
I don't know if I recognized any of the names of the new kind of instructors and whatnot. So no, we haven't heard anything from,
Sergeant Payne at Sumner,
yeah, yep. Let me pull it up. I haven't, I'm
because
actually,
he was the one who was telling me, he was trying, about 3 weeks ago, he was trying to pull that together.
no, he's the same. Who was I thinking?
Oh,
of?
okay.
Um,
Oh, all
I
right,
was thinking of
thank you.
somebody different. But I think Colonel Kafka struck me in that he was left, and then I think, oh, Hernandez, Chief Hernandez, and I can't remember what school he was at, but he's changed over too. And I found the news article on him. He went somewhere else. He's out of St. Louis now, I think. So,
Mhm.
but no, I haven't heard from Sergeant Payne. So
Because he
we'll
was
connect with him and.
right, if you would, because he was, I definitely know he was trying to work on that, because I spoke with him about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, okay. Sounds good.
Not for the ceremony, but to lead the parade.
Right, right. That would be excellent. Yeah. Yeah, we've been spending a lot of time, me and Molly this week, doing a lot of cleanup on the contact list. There was a lot of work that needed to be done, and actually still a little bit more that needs to be done, but
Mhm.
we're pretty close. But there were a lot of old and outdated contacts, and we started seeing a number of returned letters last year, and so we're kind of doubled down on that effort this year to clean up that list and make sure everybody's up to date and current. And so that's going well. And I get I think we can do this. I think we can make this parade really big again. And I think Chris Schwartz certainly is interested in that, and has been asking a lot of questions. And so Greater St. Louis was very interested in that idea of kind of a cross promotional thing and supporting that. And it's, for me, it's good business sense. I think for St. Louis to create a unified message that not that it's not behind its veterans, but to create an avenue that makes it more clearly so. I think it makes good business sense. So I think that's why Greater St. Louis might be interested as well, in trying to point out just how many things actually are happening for veterans, not only that week, but really all the time. So good.
We're planning an MAC unit. I don't know if Katie Maurer, ordinarily the person who puts that application together. And of course, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so I made a note to check in with her to be sure it's in process.
Okay. Good.
And of course, post 4.
Mhm.
Any
I
other
know
questions
post
for Mark?
4's.
Any other questions for Mark? Okay, let me share my screen again. We'll go back to the agenda here. Okay. Moving on the agenda. Thank you very much, Mark, by the way. Moving on the agenda, call for questions, new business, and announcements. Is there anything?
Well,
Nothing
I could just mention, it's Judith, that the Missouri Athletic Club is once again holding our Veterans Day luncheon on Thursday before the parade day. So that would be the 9th. And we would welcome anyone who would like to attend. You can let me know and I'll help you get a reservation made. And or you can call the Missouri Athletic Club and ask to talk to the catering office. And we would certainly welcome anyone connected with this group to sit with American Legion Post 4, which is the post that meets at the MAC. And I don't know the speaker yet. The meeting was a couple of days ago while I was still out of town. But they were trying to get either the top level or second level person from the Coast Guard to speak this year. But I don't know what's happened. And whoever we get, that they were also hooking them up for the parade.
That would be great to get a Coast Guard rep. I don't,
Yeah, and we have such a big Coast Guard
yeah.
this big Coast Guard contingent here.
Mhm. That would be nice.
Thank you
Oddly
very
enough,
much.
smack dab in the middle of the country, we do have a big Coast Guard contingent. Maybe surprisingly so, but the Mississippi is a big river. A lot happening.
It is. Isn't it
Yeah.
next to the Amazon? Or the one in Africa? I forget which one of them is bigger.
I don't remember, Judith. Take me way
It's
back.
one big river. I mean, its drainage is momentous.
Mhm.
Any other questions, new business or announcements? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much, Mark, and thank you everybody else for coming, and hopefully I'll see you guys pretty soon at some of these veterans events, so.
Yeah, I hope we
Thanks.
can have these meetings in person before very long. You kind of get disconnected with the
Yeah.
other commissioners when we're always meeting on a video.
So I'll make a comment to that, Judith, if I can. So we had announcement at our last cabinet meeting from our health director that COVID is back on the rise, and they're talking about all kind of things coming back again. And so we were directed to, if people had went back to in-person meetings, to start meeting virtually again. So I think we got a little while before that's going to happen.
Okay, Rich.
Sorry
Is
about
it-
that.
No, it's important.
Thanks, Rich. Anything else?
Nope.
Welcome back, Judith, from Europe, too. Jason?
Thanks, everybody. Oh, yeah. I was going to ask, actually, off record, where'd you go in Europe? That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Judith? Where did you go in Europe? Can you hear me?
Me, or where did I go?
Yeah.
Croatia and Slovenia.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely beautiful countries and less mobbed than other tourist destinations in Europe. And the people are very gracious and instead of being pests, they welcome tourists. So it was kind of a
Yeah.
nice environment.
Yeah, my neighbor is half Croatian. So his mom's side of the family is all from Croatia and his dad's side's all from Germany. So yeah, he has a whole bunch of Croatian stuff around the house.
It's just a lovely place.
Yeah, I'd love to go there someday. So,
Yeah.
but all right, everybody, thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time, or maybe at
Thank
the
you.
next event. I may try to make it to the MIC.
Sounds good.
Good,
Okay.
good. And don't forget, ask to be seated with American Legion Post 4.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll make note. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.